This is a Swiss Army knife, and for over 120 years it has been an icon of utilitarian tools. From being issued to soldiers in the Second World War to being recommended to Boy Scouts, this multi-tool has proven to be dependable and capable no matter whose hands it's in. After all, you're only as good as the tools you use. In each use a tool can perform increases its functionality and usefulness. Now, when it comes to audio devices such as guitar pedals, there aren't many utilitarian tools that can be considered as ubiquitous as the Swiss Army knife. But the wizards and warlords over at Earthquaker Devices have conjured up something bold enough to claim this spot. They aim to reconcile one pedal board at a time, and appropriately, they named it the Swiss Things. So in this video, we're going to look closely at all the features of the Swiss Things. We will also have a second video to demo the unit and show you several uses for it. So be sure to look out for that. We'll put a link in the description. Now you may be asking, hey, my setup is just dandy. Why do I need the Swiss Things? And I'm glad you asked. The first reason is sound quality. In a typical pedal board, the sound goes from guitar through all the pedals, then to the amp. Each patch cord and pedal adds capacitance to the signal path. And as the capacity changes, it affects the frequency of the signal. Some people call this tone suck. This is especially true over long signal runs. But the Swiss Things lifts this curse. So let's explain how that's done. To make up for signal loss, some manufacturers incorporate buffered outputs into their pedals. You may already be familiar with buffered or unbuffered signals, but let's explain really quick for those people who don't know. A buffered output is essentially an active circuit that amplifies the signal, and this is good if you have long cable runs or if you're running a ton of pedals. One downside to buffers is that they change the impedance of the signal. Effects such as fuzzes don't like this, so you have to be strategic with your buffers and place them after fuzz pedals. Additionally, a buffered output may be on even if the pedal effect is disengaged. The opposite of a buffered output is an unbuffered output. The signal is unamplified as it passes through the circuit. This is preferred for fuzz and similar pedals that are sensitive to impedance. A boost pedal is a similar type of amplified circuit used to increase signal strength. It can be thought of as a preamp for your signal, often with a volume control to increase the signal to taste. Some boost pedals add characteristics to your signal, while others are said to be transparent or clean boosts, and they amplify your signal without adding flavor. Now that we have a basic understanding of how signals are treated, we can return back to the Swiss Things. What the Swiss Things does for your pedal board is that it acts like a central hub and routes your signals a bit like a spider web. It also has buffered, unbuffered boost built into it, allowing you various routing options with minimal signal loss while maintaining signal tone. This is especially important if you play shows or record in a studio. Since the central hub design is what makes the Swiss Things so special, it requires a bit more explanation. The Swiss Things has two dedicated FX loops. Loop 1 is unbuffered, so you can have your fuzz and distortion pedals on this loop. And loop 2 is buffered, so place your reverbs, delays, and modulations on this loop. One benefit to having FX loops is that you can have several pedals be engaged and disengaged with a single switch. And this is especially awesome given Earthquaker Devices flex switch technology. This gives you a single soft touch switch that is both momentary when you hold it down and then let go, or it's latching when you tap on it quickly. This is an awesome feature and it makes this pedal fun and versatile when engaging and disengaging the FX loops. The Swiss Things also has ABY output routing built in. You have two switches that work the outputs, an AB switch and a both switch. The AB switch switches between the two outputs. The both switch engages the other output. The both switch also has flex switch technology. Also worth noting, output B has a phase inversion switch. The Swiss Things has a dedicated buffered output for your tuner. With this, your tuner is not in your signal path, so you don't have to worry about running a buffered tuner pedal into your fuzz. And you don't need to worry about running the signal back from the tuner. Also on board is a dedicated volume expression pedal connection. So again, you don't have to have your volume pedal in line with the rest of your pedals. The Swiss Things even has a built-in clean boost. This is also equipped with flex switch technology and has a dedicated volume knob with 20 decibels of gain. And that's awesome if you have low output pickups or even a signal that you just want to run hotter. The Swiss Things would be hard to use if it didn't have an input, so naturally, it has a dedicated instrument input. The Swiss Things is powered by standard 9-volt DC center negative power supply. It has a 40 milliamp current draw. There is no battery option for this pedal. Last but not least, this pedal is handmade in Akron, Ohio, US of A, by the mythical sorcerers of sound at Earthquaker Devices. This pedal is built well. It's got a sturdy metal case with a matte black finish. The switches have smooth action and are relatively quiet. And one of my favorite features are the various colored lights that are built into the unit, showing you which features are engaged. One last note, for full disclosure, EQD was kind enough to loan me this pedal for the review. In conclusion, like a classic Swiss Army knife, this pedal is a tool with a ridiculous number of features, and it will continue to prove its worth whenever you need it. Adding this pedal to your pedal board can help eliminate that pedal dance you do when you need to engage or disengage several pedals at once, and it will ensure that your tone stays squeaky clean in the process. If you're serious about your pedal board, I recommend taking a close look at the Swiss Things by Earthquaker Devices.